What we're going to focus on today is chaining submissions. Because I think it's one of the most important skills in jiu-jitsu to be able to put one technique behind the other. When you watch the highest levels, whether it's IBJJF, ADCC, UBI, MMA, or the UFC, the ability to put one attack behind the other. Once I get you into a bad position, I like to keep you there for as long as possible. And the longer I can keep you in a bad position or in danger, the harder it is for you to get out and the harder it is for you to come up with your own attack. If you're constantly having to defend a submission, it's really hard for you to try to threaten me. So that's why I like to set up long chains of submissions, because it allows for just a better overall setup process. So what we're going to go over today is just my favorite full guard attacking series. Most of you guys will know the triangle, armbar, omoplata kind of fast run. You can chain those three together pretty quickly. We're going to go over kind of the level 2 version of that, with Teepee Choke, more, and a couple other options as far as where to go. So I'm going to use JJ here. We're going to review first, and then we'll go over a few things. So we're here, obviously, JJ's in full guard. I'm in a pretty good position. All we're going to do is I'm going to grab the collar, grab this sleeve right here. Grip here is dealer's choice. I prefer cuff. Some people like pistol. If you're no gi, you just go to the wrist. What are you doing? All we're going to look to do here is I'm going to pop my hips up, and then I'm going to pull my knees to my chest, and I'm going to pull his arm across, pulling his collar across as well. Now, the big mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to break someone's posture is, JJ's big and strong, right? He allegedly is my strength position. So I just pull him in here. He's made me pretty damn strong, but my arms are not going to be stronger than his back. So when I pop my hips up here, I'm not just pulling arms, I'm pulling my knees to my chest. That is what's going to allow me to break that posture. Now, once I get his posture broke, I want to keep it broke. So I'm going to walk my feet up while moving my hips. Here. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of swinging to get here. Here's why I don't like that. The second I release any pressure from JJ's back, he's going to pop that head and chest up. So when I'm here, I'm using my feet to walk up him because it helps me keep that pressure. It's also going to allow me to get to this position here. I want my knee just over the cap of his shoulder. I like to always refer to this as a diamond guard. My legs are in a diamond position. Really creative and naming shit. You realize that. But it allows me to have a lot of good attacking. It gives him a lot of trouble to be in here. All we're going to do first is just push the head here. Because if we were here and here, all we're going to do, our hand that was on the collar is going to trap back to the wrist. And I'm going to look to have his thumb pointed up. Thumbs up are good for arm bars. We're here. I'm going to push his face away, bringing my leg to where his neck is in the pit of my knee. Here. Once we're here, I'm going to pinch my knee up, pull up here, and we're not pulling the lever. We attach it to our chest and extend our hips. If you pull the lever, you only have so much. JJ's strong. He can bicep curl, right? But the second I engage my hips here, if I attach this to my chest, I'll even come up to find it. Doesn't matter. My hips are stronger than your bicep. If not, you have chosen your opponent poorly. Make better life choices. So we're here. Let's say I go to the other side. Here. Pop my hips up. Break that posture. I walk those feet up till I get my knee over the cap of this shoulder. Once we're here, get that arm attached to your chest. Frame that face. Boom. Once we're here, another key detail a lot of people miss, they just kind of leave their legs hanging here. When I'm here, I'm hammering my heel down and towards that shoulder. Because it also helps off balance it. Because if you're off balance, it's much harder to defend yourself. So when I'm here, not only am I pinching my knees, I hammer my heels down and out. Finish that arm. Good to finish clean arm bar and JJ, so that's harder than questions on that. Like I said, the big thing I want you guys working on is getting up to that diamond guard position, because that walk is going to become important on everything I show you. So getting that walk down first will be kind of a major step. Questions on that?
Coach, you grab a pistol grip or grip of choice and back the tricep, elevate, pull across.
Yep, so when we're here, all I'm looking for is this grip here, and I like either collar here. You can come to this grip here. I will go to this grip, that reverse palm grip, to here, no. Or I like coming here, to that hook grip. Any of those grips are acceptable. Find what works best for you. In the pajamas, I always like to grab his collar, only because it threatens you. I will grab this collar here with my pinky right on your collarbone. Grab it, and then I'll just flex my wrist into your neck. Not because it's going to do anything, it's just because I'm a dick. This is just uncomfortable. For no reason. I'm not going to choke JJ like this. It's just enough to get you uncomfortable. I always refer to it as that flinch response. If I can get you to kind of do one of those when I grab you, that's what I'm looking for. That little wrist flare, I'm not going to choke anyone worth their salt. But it's just another piece of uncomfortable you have to focus on other than what I'm doing. Up close matches. All cool, Vanna White and Crim Jazz, right? You're looking over here when you're not watching what my hand is. Why up close magic works. Feel her out. 1, 2, 3. Alright.
I know.
So I'm here, right? Boom, I get here. I lift my hips, I get the arm across, I walk my hips up, right? So once I get here, the options bar that kind of drops down, pretty low. I have quite a few techniques I can hit you. But most people don't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? You train here, you don't suck. He's going to realize, hey, this arm's in a bad position, right? So he's going to try to start hiding it and doing stuff. I appreciate that, because look what he instantly did. He did the right thing. I'm going to try to protect my arm, so I'm going to try to get some space so that I can get my arm out. I appreciate it. You're smart. You did the right thing. Problem is, the right thing is also the wrong thing all at the same time. All we're going to do is I'm going to lift up the hips, and I'm going to trap this wrist to my ear. Like I'm answering my cell phone like one of them assholes at Starbucks. Oh, I can't take 7 seconds off my phone to talk, right? So we're going to pop that up, and boom, we're going to attach it right here. The nice part about this is I'm going to look to attach and extend him, because I want this arm as straight as possible. That's always my goal. As we do that, I'm going to look to find the back of his elbow. I'm going to put my thumb right across the back of it, and I'm going to very slowly, because he seems like a nice gentleman, pull down.
He's chill.
It's a reverse armbar.
What's your name by now?
So, we're here, boom, I pop it down. Boom, I walk my feet up, I'm here. He's smart, right? Boom, he's going to start creating that space. Thanks. Here, I get that space. As we're here, boom, here. Now, you want his thumb in an ideal world pointing down. If it's not pointing down, like let's say he starts to like turn his palm up and starts to realize, oh, this is bad, all you got to do is rotate that elbow for him. You're a polite person. You're going to help him out. You're going to get him where he needs to. Boom, and pull that down. Now, I'm going to say this very specifically. Do this very slowly. This is one of those submissions that goes from, oh, I'm fine, to, oh my God, my elbow is breaking, like this. Very slow and controlled. If you're yanking on this, I'm going to yank up here so it doesn't hurt. If you're having to do this and like, oh my God, why is it? Stop. Grab me, we'll fix it. All right? This should be, how fast does that go?
Yeah, I'm not going to take my chances on that.
Like, when this is in right, it's in a hurry. If it's not in a hurry, slow down, get the technique right. Biggest thing that most people mess up on this. When I get you here, right, boom, I walk you up. They get here, right? They get the arm here, but they're trying to pull it and it's flat against their chest. See how his arm kind of just braces into my chest? When I'm here, that's why I open up and I come to my side. I'm on my ribs here. See how it gives a nice little space for his elbow to break in? I give him room. So when I get here, it's not flat against my chest. The only thing connected to me right now is his wrist. And I'm pinching it. Alright? Questions on that? Yeah, I'll walk through it a couple more times. But questions on it from as far as the technical stuff.
Do you want to show on someone else so they can see it?
You need to see it.
I can do it.
Come here.
Got in there, squirrel.
Come here.
It's like Cedar Point. Too big for everything.
It's not that it won't work, it's just unnecessarily hard. Boom. I get here, I walk my hips up, right? Boom. She's smart. She's trying to defend herself. All we're going to do is gonna help her get over here. Open those knees up, get to that hip. Once we're here, if you're having trouble finding that elbow, drag it from the top, you'll feel the flex. You feel that? You'll drag it down, you'll feel her elbow lock into place. The little notch in your wrist, if you feel the back of your elbow, there's a little V shape. It notches right in almost perfectly like they were designed. Pinch, pull. Like I said, that's the biggest thing is make sure you open those knees over and get to that side because it'll allow you to have the space to actually break through. Just remember, if you don't like people, sit. There's no one here. We like each other. Alright, from here, I'll hit the other side just for fun. Here, hold, I walk my feet up. Look, I get to that knee over here. Boom, scoop that arm, get it here. Open my hips up. Here. Remember, no thumbs in your grips. If you grip with your thumbs, I'll break your thumb for you and we'll save each other time. Thumbs in. Here. Question. Yep, because what I'm trying to do here is create a point where I can extend her arm back while pushing her away. So I pinch that wrist right in kind of that crease of your shoulder and your neck. Like I said, the easiest example is that asshole twist, right? Like, oh, I'm talking on my phone, busy with my other hand, right? That's what you're looking for, is to trap that in so that I can extend her away from it. That extension is what allows that to work. Because if their arm's bent at any point, you run out of, you don't have the leverage to really get up. So that's why you have to extend away. So that way, your elbow is designed to move a lot of different ways. It's not designed to go this way. So that's why I force it this way. The basic principle of jiu-jitsu is isolate and force something the wrong direction. Look at 90% of jiu-jitsu moves. It's isolate the arm and take it where it's not supposed to go. Go screaming and eventually. Questions? 1, 2, 3. Alright, come here. Alright, so we're here, right? Good things are happening. I get to my position, hit up here, boom. He realizes this arm's in trouble. Man, I don't know what I want to do with this arm. So what's he going to try to do? Get this hand away from me. And we're going to help him. I'm going to pull this. I want it. No, give me your arm, please, please, please. And you're going to be like, hey, I don't like that. And all I'm going to do is help you. You're going to try to pull this elbow out. I'm going to go, hey, thanks. For those of you, it's a trap. Yeah, it is. Realize about half of what I'm doing to you in a jiu-jitsu match. Boom. I push that arm out. Now guess what we're in? Perfect triangle position. Once we're here, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to lift my hips up. Tuck this into my hip. Once we're here, I'm going to comb his hair behind his ear because it's beautiful, right? Beautiful and good. Now, I say that only because it makes you remember. Do not grab your ankle here. If you grab your ankle, I will walk by and kick you. Because if I grab my ankle here, look at all the space I'm giving him to exit this part. There's all sorts of space here. But when I'm here and I go, man, your hair looks great, and I grab right behind his head, go ahead and get your head out. No, really, get your head out. Promise. There's $5 in it if you can get your head out. He's stuck because I have control of his neck. This foot, once you've grabbed, then you take this foot off. You post it on the hip. Now on the mat. You touch my mat during this, I'll punch you. To the hips. We're here. Probably. Good for you. Hip. And when I cut this ankle, you have a couple places you can grip. You can grab the arm, you can grab the knee. You should just be able to post here and turn. And you want your shin bone in line with his shoulders, the front of his shoulders. A lot of people try to lock a triangle where their shin's kind of pointed backwards. I want this pointed straight across his back. Shoot. The other reason you don't grab your ankle here when you cut this angle is when I go to lock this, I'm in my own way. So when I'm here, I reach up and grab here, so that way when I'm here, I can cut that angle. Now I'm going to do this without him in the triangle so that I can toss him and put him unconscious. Boom, I'm here, I grab. Couple details. One, you lock on the ankle, not on your foot. I watched a gentleman snap his ankle in half, trying to close a triangle. Here, here. Once you're here, flex your foot up. A couple things that does. One, locks your leg in place, flexes your calf, which forces his head down. The other thing you're going to do, you're going to hammer your foot down and out. Tightens this triangle, forces everything in. From here, boom, I'm here. Once I get here, it's tight, right? It's not great. How bad did that get? How quick? He's like, that's the difference in between a good and a great triangle. There's little details, guys. That's why we're walking through this. So I'm here, boom, I hit, and we walk up. Oh, I promise I want this armbar. Please don't escape that hand and let me pass this over. You're real terrible for me. It's rough. It's rough to be with you. Boom, I grab that, cut it across. Close, down, out, hips up. If you need to, you pull the head. Alright? Question for me. Like I said, most of you guys, if you haven't learned triangle yet, I'll probably punch you on. But it's little details. That's the difference. You have to hit the little details right, especially here. Because when you get in the heat of a match, you're hoping that the training kicks in. So you have to hit the little details right here, so that way when you're rolling live and you're rolling in tournaments, MMA fights, whatever you're trying to do, it all connects down the road. Right? Questions on this?
Yeah. Looks like someone else get trained. Come here, let me choke. Boom. I walk my hips up.
Oh, please give me the arm. Boom. Let it escape. Let it go. It's okay. Boom. Pass. Grab that shin bone right behind your head. Boom. Cut that. You want it straight in line. If you're having problems cutting your angle and you can't, scoop under the arm. That'll help you. If you're long, scoop under the knee. Here. Close there. Flex the foot up. Hammer down and out. That'll be it. Alright. Question?
I guess modifications like Santiago and got broader shoulders.
Yes.
You might have trouble getting that locked up in the end.
So, with someone like Santiago, I'm going to be blatantly honest, I wouldn't try. Unless you just have the gaggle of leg, shoot. Yeah, you shoot him for being too big and tough to take down, right? With that, this isn't, try to get this step, realize the next step is going to be what I would do to Santiago and have it. So, like, realize that all jiu-jitsu doesn't work everywhere, right? That if I'm facing Santiago, I promise you I'm not trying to arm him. 90% of the time I'm not going to attack his arms. I'm going to attack his neck and his feet. Because that's where he's going to be weak, right? Everyone's tough until you take away options, right? Like, you have to, there is some tactical sense you have to have. If I told you, hey, if I told Ashley, I said, hey, you have to go triangle Santiago, makes no tactical sense in that realm. You shouldn't do that. Wouldn't be what I expected. Now, this next technique that I show you, the Teepee Choke, is what I hit when people are either too big to get triangled or they defend the triangle. So that would be what I would do next. Not to just punt the answer, but sometimes it doesn't work out. Life sucks. We live in the real world, right? All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. This one's a fun one. So we're here, right? We're creating this long, long chain of bad things happening. Boom, he pulls his arm out. And I'm here, but he realized the mistake quickly, right? Like, when you do this, it's like, oh, that's not ideal. So he's here, and he's like, all right, I got to stop this from happening. So a lot of people, what they're going to do is they're going to hide this hand. They're going to be here, they're going to start to hide that hand. You're like, hey, if you can't cross the arm over, really hard to finish a triangle, which is true. Like, if I'm here and I'm trying to do it like this, I don't like it hard. So all I'm going to do, when he hides that hand, I'm going to be like, good job, buddy. It was great. I'm going to lift my hips up, and I'm going to tuck that into my hip pocket here. As I pull him back down, all I'm going to look to do is kick my heels right over his head. As I do that, it's the thigh master, where you pinch your knees, right? That's what we're looking to do. There. We're going to look to pinch all that up. I'm going to lock my hands right behind his neck and pull everything in as I drive my hips up. And it sucks in a whole hurry.
That's fun.
It's called a Teepee Choke because your legs are up like the teepee. I got taught it from a Native American. I got taught it from a guy who lived over reservation.
Name offends me.
Yeah. Be as offended as you need to be. I didn't name it. We're here. Boom. Grab. Once we're here, the goal is pinch, extend, and pull down.
What grip does he use?
As much grip as you can get. Ideally here, if not, interlock the fingers. Especially if they're bigger or broader. This is what I was saying is what I would do to Santiago. I have done to him before. Because I'm not trying to close the triangle if I get here. Well, here and here. Once you start pinching that, the goal is your thigh is going to drive through this piece of his neck, this thigh is going to drive this shoulder in, and the hip extension up is going to finish. But it sucks in such a hurry. If you've never been hitting this, it's great. Enjoy it. But same setup, same everything else, guys. As you're seeing, the goal here, I use this example all the time. Now, I'm 30, so if you're near my age bracket, you'll remember the series of books that came out. Choose Your Own Adventure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone remembers those, right? You're reading, Sally walks up to two doors. Just pick the door on the left, the door on the right. She goes, the door on the left, you turn to this page, door on the right, you turn to this page. I love jujitsu because I like to create one of those stories where regardless of what you do, you die. Like your death at the end of this book is certain. How we get there is always up to you. Because realize, if you throw up your first submission and it works on somebody, good job, life happened, right? But 90% of the time, it's the second, third, fourth attack that chains together and kind of. You don't realize that it turns, and the deeper you get into the belt, the deeper the chains end up being. It's not. When we were at Naga, I was facing a lot of purple, brown, and other black belts. It was like my first attack never worked. It was the third and fourth one that helped me get through. So that's always what you're looking for. So I'm here. Boom. Lift my hips up, pass it over. I walk my feet up. Oh, please give me your arm. Just kidding. Oh, you made a mistake? That's fine. Boom, I'm going to pull that in. That's great. That was awesome. Now, a lot of people are ready for the omoplata here. And that's the other reason this works. A lot of people are ready for this. That's why they tuck. Because they have good omoplata defense. Because omoplatas are trash. Argue with me about it later. They are. Omoplatas are a sweep. If you want to argue it, fight. But when we're here, a lot of people are waiting for that omoplata switch. So when they tuck that there, what they're not ready for is you to do this. And that's also why it works, because it's very subtle. All right? Questions on this? Yes.
Hey, Rob.
Boom. Oh, boom. Break that posture, right? He's big and strong. I don't like this. Give me that. Oh, thanks. Here. See how now that tucks in everything real nice and tight? All we're going to do here. The sound effect is what you're looking for. Remember, sometimes in life you need to create new enemies. Sometimes this is what it is for. Here.
You're gonna choke him. Yeah, you're gonna run it up there like, I don't think you're gonna choke him like
But
He ran all over like he was so excited.
listen, if they don't make sound effects when you're choking them, it's not time. Questions on this? Yeah, I'm driving my hips forward, so without somebody in my way, right? My goal is to do that while pulling this thing. That's the easiest way I can explain the motion. It feels awkward, don't get me wrong. This will be weird to drive and pinch here while you're trying to low roll, like low pull something. But you'll realize very quickly how tight this gets and how bad it sucks in an immediate hurry. Not try that. Because a lot of people, the good thing about having a long chain of submissions that you can hit is you can go from one to the other. The problem is some of those are very predictable. If I told you we went from armbar to triangle to omoplata, No one's shocked by that, right? Everyone's seen the flow drill, this basic 101 technique. I teach it as a flow for basic. If I do like an intro to white belt class, it's literally one of the first things we learn. So having a chain of submissions, that also has a couple fun wrinkles here. A reverse arm lock, a Teepee Choke, normal, some nasty kimuras, reverse locks, things like that. That's how you get a longer chain that's much harder to defend. He's defending right. Everything you did by tucking that arm is the right thing to do. Tuck the arm, get some posture, right? Like that would be the exact way I tell you to defend a triangle. Still wrong. And that's the fun of jiu-jitsu. Alright. 1, 2, 3. I like opposing gi colors because it makes sense. All our guys try to match my gi color every day. So we're here, right? Boom, I pull him down, I walk my hips up, I'm trying to attack this arm, he defends, like, oh great. Boom, he tucks this elbow here. It's not a bad defense, honestly. Like I said, this is right. He's not wrong to do this, everything's right where it should be. Tight. Now, obviously, we can go here, right? Sometimes you don't want to though. So all we're gonna look to do is, I'm gonna look to drag this leg as high up as I can here. Once you're here, you're going to cross over here. And you have two options. One, finish the reverse triangle. Option 2, double attack. Scoop the arm out, hit that same lock from earlier. But the nice part is you're here. Let's say you go here and he's just tough. Like a lot of guys with broad shoulders and just, I'm just going to power through this, right? That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you about being tough. You can be as tough as you need to be in a minute. I'm going to reach up behind his head. And I'm going to pull that foot to where my foot comes out right behind his knee. That's going to allow me to close this. Same rules as closing your other triangle. Close on your ankle, not your foot. Arch up here. Tight, but not the worst thing in the world, right? It's not great. Like you could submit him from here. But you have a couple options of double attacking. One, you can just kimura lock. Great option, always available. I prefer the straight arm lock just because I'm better at it. And it's tougher for him to not just grab something here. So I like to just break that grip, drag it up here. You're already in position for it. It's just available. Questions on that? Yeah, you can go. Realize the reason I prefer the reverse arm lock to the kimura is because he doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? So he's going to start hiding this way. So I got to bring it out here, and I'm going to get it up here, right? Here's the problem I run into with kimura. If it's here, and I reach over and I grab it, he's got paint grips, he's got things he can get in my way with. And so it makes it harder to finish. Available still, right? Especially no gi. It's a lot harder for him to grab stuff, right? In the pajamas, they're going to grab anything they can get a hold of, including your pants. Like if I'm here, he'll grab my pants to try to stop this. So that's why all I'm going to look for is that gap in the elbow and get that up here. That little gap allows me to scoop and turn my hips over for this reverse one. Look, that's the difference. That is why I prefer the reverse arm lock to the kimura. Kimura works, you can hit it every time. But the ability to get that grip out and not run into problems with it again is why I prefer that reverse arm. Optimal as opposed to, I get that kimura grip, I gotta break the grip, fight it over. Fight the grip again. Or if I break the grip once, it's not gonna be easy. You break that grip once, you get it onto your neck here, then you finish. Yeah, it's not. Realize, guys, in jiu-jitsu, there are very few absolutes of right and wrong. You should do this first. There's optimal and what works best for me, right? Because realize, my jiu-jitsu game and Santiago's jiu-jitsu game should be nothing near each other. I can coach him as much as I want. He should not do the things I do in jiu-jitsu. He should have a totally different style because his body and the way his body moves and works is going to be very different than mine. Your game should not be the smash pass wrestler that I am. It's not working for me. You don't have the experiences out of it. So that's why you got to find what technically is correct and what works for you. Because I promise you, if I tried to clone all my students into little versions of me, they'd all suck. Some of them still do suck, but some of them suck less than others. So boom, we're here. I'm working. I walk my feet up, right? He pulls this arm out. He tucks this down. I'm like, oh man, I'm working.
He's tough. He's tough. He's strong. I don't like that.
I don't like tough and strong guys. They're just annoying to deal with. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna find that little pocket between my elbow and my hip. His elbow and my hip. I'm gonna dig that in here. Pull this across. Close my triangle. Like I said, this is tough. It would eventually choke him, right? But it's not great. It's not what I want. So I'm gonna use that to turn my hips over here. And you're right here. Because one of two things is gonna happen. He's gonna run out of air and blood, or his arm's gonna be either way, I'm fine with that. Tap to whichever piece of it makes you feel better about it. I'm going to attack both because it's better. Other questions on this? Alright. Alright, drill her out. 1, 2, 3.